people today. They could spend half their lives over 50. That's a lot of living. So it helps to have a wise friend and fierce defender in your corner. A friend like AARP. So your health lives longer.
This is just slow-mo karate?
Just slow-mo karate.
Your money lives longer.
I just bought that.
I just sold that.
And your happiness lives longer. That's why the younger you are, the more you need AARP. Join today.
Welcome to AARP Illinois' virtual event. It's so wonderful to have you with us. AARP is on a mission to connect with individuals across various communities, especially those aged 50 and above. We're here to listen, understand, and address the unique needs of you and your community as we age. Our goal is to enrich your experience by expanding our local activities, providing opportunities for you to discover and engage with all that life has to offer right here in your own community and virtually. As we journey through today's event, we invite you to consider joining our dedicated team of AARP volunteers. It's a chance to make a meaningful impact and help us better serve those 50 plus across the nation. Connect with us and be a part of this vibrant movement toward positive change. Welcome, and let's make this event both fun and transformative.
Hello, AARP. I'm Amanda Pyle, and this is another episode of My Crafty Corner. We're coming to you from Morton, Illinois, where we have just celebrated our annual Pumpkin Fest. 99% of the world's pumpkin is processed right here in our city. So everything is pumpkin all the time right now, all the way through to November. And that means other fall things are on their way. Things like sitting by the bonfire, making s'mores, which means we're going to need some citronella candles to provide some coverage for all of those mosquito bites that we might get. So today's demo is all about making candles, and we're going to make a citronella candle today, but this is a candle making demonstration that can work for any scents that you might have around the house. You can use your essential oils to make these candles, or you can buy some other oils in the grocery store that are made just for candle making. So get that pumpkin spice going on, pear, scented pear, and other fall and holiday flavors that you love to taste make great smells as well. For today's demonstration, I bought a really cool candle kit online that came with everything we needed to make these candles and more. It made the process super easy and super simple. Since it was kind of my first time in many years making candles, I really wanted to make sure that I had all the tools that I needed to make it a simple and easy process. I paid $40 for this kit, and let me show you everything that was inside. All right, so in this super cool kit that I got online, the first thing that I really love that it came with is this awesome steel pot, a nice stirring spoon for that, and a really nice wax melter burner, so I don't have to worry about using my stove at home. This is really easy to control the temperature. I'm going to go ahead and get my pot on here now before I explain everything else in my kit, just so that we can get some wax melting. I'm going to put about a cup of these wax chips that they sent. You can use all different kinds of wax for candle making. I'm using the wax that they sent in this kit, which is really nicely chopped up. Let me pour this out. And it's just kind of shavings, which is going to ensure that it melts really nicely and quickly. I found that about a cup of these wax shavings makes about 2 candles or a little bit more. So I'm just going to pour that inside. I don't need to add anything else to the wax. And I'm going to turn on my little wax melting burner here. I found that it gets pretty hot pretty quickly. So I'm just going to turn it on to level 2 and let that wax start melting. Wax will actually melt at any temperature above 125 degrees. You want to be careful to not do it too high though, because you will smell the burning, or kind of like the wax just getting too hot in there. And then it's going to be really hard to cool your wax down when it's time to add the scents, because your wax needs to cool down below 135 degrees in order to not absorb the scents to the point where the scents don't work inside anymore. We'll want to be able to smell the smells that we're adding. All right, so while that gets over here melting, we're just going to talk about all the other things in the kit. So first of all, in my kit, it came with 16 of these little tins, which I thought is awesome. This is really the perfect kit for making gifts for others and sending them out. It came with some really nice scents, but again, you can easily source scents from other places if you want to make different smelling candles than what the scents are in the kit. And I found a lot of these different kits online, and most of them seem to pretty much include all of the same thing. So 16 of these tins, we're going to be using those today. It came with these little wick sticks. I'm going to turn my wax in between 1 and 2. Came with these wick sticks here, which is going to sit on the bottom of the candle tin, and then we're going to cut that wick once we've got our wax nice and set. One of the things that the wicks needs to adhere is some sort of stick down at the bottom, like a sticker, and they've sent those as well, so these are kind of cool. We're just going to peel off the top, we'll set our wick on top and stick it, and then we'll move it into the inside of the tin so that it holds that in place when we're pouring the wax in. We don't want that to fall over. Another thing that they give you to do that is these really cool little metal, this kind of holds the wax stick in place, and they gave a lot of size variation in case you decide to change up what you're pouring your wax into to make your candles. And so after these are in place, this is going to slide on, and if you're doing, and then hold this into place once it's stuck on there when we pour the wax in. If you're doing 3 wicks inside of your candle, it even gives you the opportunity to put all 3 in there and hold all 3 in place. That would be, of course, for a larger candle. I can smell my wax starting to melt. I'm just going to give it a little stir. See in there a little bit. This is a clear wax. The kit comes with some things to add color as well, so I'll talk about that here in a second. Giving that a little stir. How do I know when my wax is done? How do I know when my wax is heating at over 125 degrees? Well, the kit has also included this little digital thermometer. We are going to register our temperatures today in Fahrenheit. And so I've turned it on, making sure I see the F next to that, and I'll start temping it soon. It is almost completely clear and melted. Just a couple little chips remain in there. And when I temp it right now, it's already over 135 degrees, and that goes so fast, folks. And so I'm going to go ahead and turn that off, and it should stay nice and warm while we go through the rest of the demonstration here until we're ready to use it. So thermometer and a nice little carrying case to protect the thermometer also came in my kit. Some fun powders to dye your candles any color that you might want to dye them. I'm going to go ahead and pull out our yellow because we are making a citronella, and that makes me think yellow. And they gave lots of different variations of color. I've got a brilliant yellow and a lemon yellow in here, and there are even other yellows as well, so lots of different colors for candle making. It also came with these scissors for cutting my wicks later, but I found that a regular set of scissors works a lot better, so take it or leave those. Alright, what else? Then it came with these scents. Other than my eucalyptus that I have here and my citronella that I'm using, it came with lavender, rose, lemon, jasmine, and peppermint. So those were the options that came inside of the kit, and then I'm adding a couple of my favorites today just to make my citronella have a little bit better of a smell. I'm going to add some eucalyptus to one and some lemon to the other. The kit also came with some rose petals and flower petals that you could add to your color variations to add a little scent. I found that for the bigger petals like these, it works better to kind of mash them up in your fingertips before adding them into your candle. And I'll show you kind of what that looks like. Here's the lavender color that we did with a lavender scent. And then here is a rose one that we've already been burning. with a rose-colored color, and then also some rose petals and a rose scent all together. And the petals we started them on the bottom, they sort of floated up to the top. I made another one of these to give away as a gift, and I left the wax clear, and then I added the rose petals in, and that looked really beautiful as well. And then the kit also comes with some awesome stickers to be able to label your little tins or canisters according to what candle's inside, but of course those labels are going to match the candle's scents that the kit came with. So if you're getting other scents and making different candles from the scents that are included, you'll have to make your own stickers. They came with a little warning label to stick on the bottom, which I thought was kind of cool, and then also came with these side labels that get applied to the side. So that's kind of cool. Like I said, neat kit, kind of an all-in-one. The only things that I'm including today are some plastic knives to stir all of my scents together into my wax, and then some disposable containers. After you use the wax, it's going to kind of leave a residue that's hard to get out unless you wipe it out instantly with a paper towel. So whatever color you're working with is going to kind of stain that container. So you could save it, and every time I want to make lavender or purple candles, I'll use this one, and every time I want to make, I don't know, that looks like it's been blue and pink, but blue candles, then I can use this one again and again, or you can just start with new disposable ones each time and go that route. All right, today we're going to be making citronella candles because, again, we're ready for bonfires. It's going to be time to sit out around the fire soon, and those pesky mosquitoes will come a-biting. So citronella candles, but there's nothing wrong or nothing that says you can't burn like a pumpkin candle out there as well. I'm going to add some eucalyptus into my citronella for one of my candles, and I'm going to add some lemon into my citronella for another. And I'm going to get rid of the other scents for today. Now, I would advise that you do not use your coloring straight into your pot, because then that will turn the inside of your pot waxy yellow, and then you'll have to continuously clean your pot every time you want to make a new candle that's a new color. So that's why we have these disposable containers here. And again, I'm going to make 2 different scents. And I'm going to break this lemon yellow up a little bit because it makes a little bit goes a long way, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And I'm going to add a little of my lemon yellow to one candle, and I'll add a little of my brilliant yellow to the other. I wonder how different they'll actually be. We're going to see. All right, and then I'm going to pour my wax right into here, and I'm going to go about half and half, hopefully. Well, they do appear to be a little different, so that's fun. I've actually seen citronella candles in both of these colors before, so that's kind of great. I'm going to give it a stir here, and as you can see, that powder's going to dissolve right into that wax, and you want to make sure you are using like a heat-proof container. All right. Got 2 very different vibrant yellows there. Can I add my scents yet? I'm not sure. We need to be below 135 to add our scents. And every time I use my thermometer, I just get a paper towel and kind of wipe it right after. And that seems to be good for keeping the wax off of it. So both of these waxes are incredibly hot. So we're going to keep stirring them until we are at a point where we can add our wax. I'm sorry, not our wax, our scents. Again, we don't want to add our scents when it's too hot because it just kind of fries that scent smell up a little bit, and you don't get as much of that scent that you're wanting. Another thing that you can do to cool things down a little bit faster here is add a couple more of those wax shavings. And they give you 2 very large bags in this kit, which I think is really nice. I'll send a picture of our kit that we purchased to our AARP host here. And if she wants to include that and show you which one we use, she can. All right, letting those cool. Candle making is so great to do something together with anybody of any age. My daughter and I made these candles last week just to prepare for this demonstration, and she was easily able to navigate through everything. My only thing that I kept telling her she has to remember to do is that every time you set something down with wax on it, it's going to get wax on that surface. And so get a paper plate or some paper towels ready to be kind of right there so that it can catch the wax. All right, so I think we're getting almost to where we need to be. I'm going to put these off to the side for a second, and let's go ahead and get our candle tins ready. So I've got 2 empty tins here. Oop. Pop my lids off. I'm going to pull out 2 of my wax. Actually, I already made the one, so just 1 of my wax sticks. And I'm going to need 2 of my wick holders, and I can get rid of these other 2. Then I'm going to pull off my sticker, stick on my wick, then peel off the other part of the sticker, which is already adhesive, and then I'm just going to put it right down into the center of my candle and give it a little press like this. And see how that still wants to wobble and move? That's why we need our wick holder here. So again, you can do it like this, or if the size of your vessel changes and you make candles in something else later, you might need to flip it over and use the other side. There we go. There's one. Alright, now, it just does not want to stay in there. There we go. Now, we have those ready to go. As you can see, they're not moving around quite as much there. We've got our 2 Citronella e-candles. Again, I think these were perfect colors to choose because I've seen Citronella made in both of these colors. And so your wax, like I said, needs to be about 130 degrees in order to be able to safely add our scents. Let's see where we're at here. Oh, perfect. We're at 128. And we're at 133, so I feel pretty good. And your flavoring or your scent should be about 8% of the amount of the wax solution. So I'm thinking that that's probably about 10 drops. Of my citronella. I can really smell that. And then I'm going to add about 5 drops of eucalyptus. Let's do the lemon. 5 or 6 drops of eucalyptus to one, 5 or 6 drops of lemon to the other. Definitely got to go with the bright yellow for the lemon. So now we have lemon citronella, and we have eucalyptus citronella. I really can smell the difference, and it's just like a faint smell of the extra added flavor there, or scent. All right, and then we're just gonna pour those right into there. Now those didn't go up quite as high as I wanted, so I'm just going to turn on my burner. I'm going to add a tiny bit more wax, but I'm going to get it off of there as soon as it's melted because I don't want to have to go through the cooling process again. There's a little line inside of your tin, just getting all this wax off of here. And I think that that's a really good stopping point for where the wax should end. And it's right here. So if you can see that little line that kind of goes right around the top inside, that's a great place to stop your wax. So mine got almost there, but just shy. No biggie. I'm not even going to color this wax. I'm just going to get it melting to be clear, and I'm just going to add it to these candles because they're already really nicely colored. That shouldn't take but a few minutes. Let's see if I can get any more out of our container. And then again, if you wanted to reuse these vessels and make more candles from them, you could either just have, you know, one container for each color of the rainbow that you like to do, or you could throw them away each time, or you could wipe them out each time. Just gonna turn this up a little bit so we can get it going a little faster. So think about making Christmas candles. You could make a really cute label to go on the top of these tins that was very Christmassy. Or if you made a pumpkin candle, just put a pumpkin sticker that you could probably buy online or anywhere at your local craft market or craft store rather. Alright, we're almost there. As you can see, that goes pretty quick. It didn't need much more, just a little bit more. And what'll probably happen is this will dissolve into this other wax and either leave a swirly type look to it, or it might layer it. If you were allowed to allow the first set to sit a little longer, it would have a layered color if you wanted to pour another round of wax over. But I think they're both hot enough this time around to where that's going to melt right down and just dissolve and become one. Alright, there we go. Just going to fill that up to the line where I wanted it. Perfect. Beautiful. And now you haven't tinted your cool little steel pot a certain color and have to wipe that out. You can just melt wax in it next time that's clear again. So that is a great way to be able to avoid moving those colors over to your wax pot. All right. I like to give a little smell after. I just like to make sure I can still smell those scents in there. I'm going to add just a couple more drops of lemon. I love lemon. Then I'm going to add a couple more drops of eucalyptus because I can really smell the citronella, but not as much of the others now that it's sat for a second. And that is it. Then if you wanted to add stickers, I'll show you what those look like. At least the ones with the kit anyway. We didn't make these other than the eucalyptus, so I can put a eucalyptus on top of one of my lids here. And if you're going to use these bottom warning stickers, I would advise you to do that before the candle making process goes down. That way that's ready to go for you. Probably the same with putting something around the edge, like this one. Yeah, that. Like I said, it's just, they made it so easy that it just really kept it a lot of fun. Stress-free, hassle-free. Everything was right there. So I definitely would recommend these kits. If you're looking for some easy, fun candle making, but I probably would buy other scents as well. so that not everything inside is floral. But maybe they have a more fall scented candle kit. All right, so there we go. That's how the tins look in their final product. And then we want these candles to sit room temperature until they set completely. You really don't want to be moving them around much. You could move the wick out of place, and then when we're ready to come back, and our candles have set at room temp, and you don't want to put them in the fridge to speed that up. Then you're going to come back, use your scissors if they gave you a better pair than these, and you're going to snip your wick about 1 inch up. Okay? And you can use regular scissors or what the kit gave you. I just had better luck with the regular scissors. And then after those are all set up and ready to go, you can start burning immediately. You don't have to wait at all. And that process of letting those set took about an hour. Thanks again, y'all, for watching me in another episode of My Crafty Corner, where today it was all about making citronella candles to get ready for those fall bonfires, roasting hot dogs, and s'mores. We can't wait to see you next month in October, where we'll be doing some other fun pumpkin projects as well. And we'll be seeing you a lot over the holidays as well. I hope you